Say what you want, but the MCU is still one of the biggest franchises in the world. Despite their winning streak over the years producing actually good superhero movies and making them more relevant than they have ever been, a lot of that success came from amazing characters they wrote so well into the stories. But even with all that, there are still characters Marvel straight up fumbled hard, whether it was by nerfing them, sidelining them, or straight up wasting them, both literally and in every other sense of the word. When talking about something like this, the first character to always come to mind for me is always the Hulk. Hulk, as everyone should know, is one of the prime Avengers, and he's known as the muscles as Superman is to the Justice League, only he's green and wants to beat the shit out of anyone. And for a time, that's what the Hulk had been in the MCU. Although a lot of people were mad with the design change and recasting of the actor himself, Mark Ruffalo's Hulk still lived up to the Hulk name, and we were fine with that. But all I can say is that we were too comfortable with this Hulk, cause in a blink of an eye, Marvel turned him from this to this.
Confusing times.
There's literally nothing more controversial in the MCU than making Hulk a literal joke. I don't speak for every Marvel fan, but I don't really hate Professor Hulk, but it just doesn't make sense. I mean, if the Hulk was supposed to be this mixture of both Banner's and Hulk's personality into one, they should have layered it out first by setting up the dynamic between the two in the first place, like it has always been in the comics, or show how being the Hulk and smart is better than just being Hulk and Banner as separate people. Instead, they had him throwing dry ass jokes here and there and just being an overall joke himself. Like, the only sign they ever showed us of this was the Hulk degrading from his rampage form to becoming more humorous over time. And all this, not one movie. Since the Hulk ever came to the MCU, we never had one Hulk movie. Instead, he remained as a side character to the other money milkers for Marvel. The end of Avengers Ultron with him leaving Earth was perfect to get a Planet Hulk film and maybe later a Worldbreaker Hulk film, which wouldn't have happened, but it would have been fun nonetheless. Instead, he was turning into being another side character for another Thor movie. Truth is, there was a lot of potential with Hulk. Scratch that, there was too much potential that Marvel just swept under the rug to probably write out the kind of movies they needed. I might say a lot about Hulk than any other character in this list or this video overall, probably because he is literally amongst my top 5 favorite Marvel characters, but Marvel just ruined him and it kinda hurt. Another character I'm about to ramble is pretty much the same thing, and that's Black Widow. Now I know I'm getting one of those looks right now through the screens because Black Widow had her moments and had her own solo movie. There is no way she could possibly be wasted. Well, if you think that her having a movie and having few moments in the MCU shows that she isn't wasted, well, I'm here to tell you it doesn't. If you're at least a quote-unquote Marvel fan, it's been there, although not explicitly rubbed in our faces, that Black Widow, Natasha Romanoff, is a character with a lot of depth. Anything concerning her history or background was layered with so much secrecy and mystery in the MCU. All we knew is that she was a SHIELD agent who does their dirty work. Even so, bits of her background or character was dropped in every project she was in. We see how with all these moments in the MCU and you think they mean something, which they should. A big moment came, however, when she betrayed the Iron Man team in Civil War to help Steve Rogers and Bucky escape, and after that targeted as a fugitive. All that tossed away by Marvel, ignoring the movie potential that would have had to flesh out who Black Widow is. No one cares if it would have been a good movie or not, but at least it added something to her character or made her more meaningful. Instead, they left that part out till after she sacrificed herself for the Soul Stone, after going front and back with Hawkeye on who should die, which is ironic because we don't even know why they should even care that deeply about each other in the first place, why one character would be willing to risk seeing his own family return to save his friend from dying. All this because Marvel never made any movie about it or showed it in any way. So as I said, Marvel left a part of Black Widow's history till after Endgame. After she had died, the whole snap thing happened. It was nothing but sad for a character who had so much to offer in the MCU, because the movie on the other hand that she soloed in didn't really carry much weight because there was actually nothing at stake. We all know what everything led to. As I said, sad. Now, while watching this video and it seems like I haven't hit the nail on wasted, Quicksilver would definitely make sense. Why? Because he's not just a wasted character, but he was straight up done dirty by Marvel. See, Quicksilver is a very iconic character in the Marvel universe. He's basically Marvel's speedster as Flash is to the DC comics. Only the Flash is faster than light, while according to the MCU, he didn't even see the bullets coming.
This nigga is trash.
Yeah, trust me, I won't waste your time on this one. Look, Quicksilver coming to the MCU brought hype for this movie more than it already had, cause at least he was teased at the end of Winter Soldier along with his sister Wanda Maximoff, so it made sense why the movie would be so hyped. Him coming to the MCU with Wanda Maximoff his sister, they also added weight to the movie as a whole, cause they teamed up with Ultron, they trolled the Avengers, it was okay, it was cool. But Quicksilver is just not the average character, he's a freaking speedster. As a speedster, one of their notable feats is always outrunning bullets, or at least being perpetually faster than bullets. And it seemed like that was the case for Quicksilver till it wasn't. Now, a lot of people think that he shouldn't have been killed at all in the MCU, which I disagree, because it did add weight to Wanda's character. But the way he died just wasn't for me and for a lot of people, all because of saving Hawkeye and the little kid, which he could have taken them away from the bullet's range or straight up shifted the bullet's trajectory like his fucking X-Men counterpart did, which you could make the argument that he isn't fast enough yet, then at least be able to shift them out of the way and also shield himself, not just standing there and taking every single hit and giving one shitty one-liner.
You didn't see that coming.
Like, bro, you are a speedster. Isn't your whole thing being extremely fast? Anyway, he died. That's why he's wasted. Marvel did him too dirty. The character I'm about to mention next may get a lot of hate from Marvel fans and worse from Spider-Man fans, and before stating this character, I'm about to say something that is even more controversial and will definitely cause hate. So here it goes. Aunt May shouldn't have been the one to say with great power comes great responsibility speech. Just hear me out, it should have been Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man instead, and that's why he's the most wasted character in the MCU.
Hang that nigga now! I got the rope right here!
I know what you're thinking, which is plenty because I just said the most ridiculous thing ever, but I have no initial issue with Aunt May saying the iconic speech. Really, it wasn't bad. If and only if this movie didn't have Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man in it. A lot of people who grew up with this version of Spider-Man knows all he went through, which isn't much since he only lost Uncle Ben and had to deal with the worst love interest ever and losing his best friend. In a sense, comparing his own suffering to every other Spider-Man in live action, in my own opinion, he didn't suffer just as much. But what he has though is experience in how to handle the weight of being Spider-Man, the responsibility of being a hero or having powers or being Spider-Man. He amongst these three has had to develop using this ideology of being a hero with the responsibility that comes with it. When it came known that he will be in No Way Home, the speculation of him being a variant of Ben Parker was not only so good, but it made so much sense. Considering the fact that Ben Parker was barely mentioned in Tom Holland's Spider-Man movies, only reference, it was clear he didn't receive the responsibility speech from Ben Parker. But Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man, doing that would have been something for the fans. But instead, Aunt May said it, and I'll be honest with you, I really like that she did, and as a character it made sense. But in the plot and the narrative as a whole, it didn't. Even after giving the speech, Peter was still ready and willing to murk Green Goblin. And yes, Tobey Maguire did step in, but all he did was stare and later got stabbed. You see, his character coming to the universe didn't really leave an impact that much. And yes, you could say it did for the fans, but not as a plot. He came, fans were hyped, they fought and laughed together, and then he left just like that. If I was to fix this in my own way, maybe they both should have said it, but not in the same way. Maybe Aunt May says it to Peter in a way he doesn't really understand or fully grasp, and then Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man steps in while he's about to kill Green Goblin and says it in a clearer and more defined version, exactly how he was told by his version of Uncle Ben. Seeing as this is coming from one Spider-Man who is more experienced to a younger Spider-Man, in my opinion, that would have made more sense to me and would have made his character in the MCU make so much sense and feel right. Since we may never see this character again except he returns in Secret Wars, yeah, he was pretty much wasted to me. I strongly believe that Ultron was just as much as an interesting villain as Thanos, but Marvel really ruined his character. Now, I've said this before, that if there's anything Marvel has ever done and it was the most brilliant thing they ever did, that would be tweaking Ultron's character. Because if you know Ultron, you'll know he's one of the usual AI gone rogue kind of villain in Marvel and shit. It still made him a great villain nonetheless. I don't know what Marvel was on when they decided to bring him to the MCU, because whatever it was, they really cooked, because they made him better. He was interesting as hell, wanting to save humanity and having this twisted version of achieving that, but he was so damn hilarious and charismatic. Like, every moment spent with his character on screen was something special, because he was dropping serious bars and quotes when he spoke and being so cold when doing it.
The human race will have every opportunity to improve.
And if they don't? Ask Noah.
James Spader really brought this character to life more than anyone expected, but still, it didn't do much for the movie overall. See, something that's interesting to know about Ultron is his origin, as instead of the route the MCU took by making Tony with the help of Bruce Banner create him, but instead his real origin is linked with Hank Pym, aka Ant-Man. Not only that, but it created an entire arc for Ant-Man after Ultron's defeat. He essentially became Yellow Jacket. Basically, Marvel robbed fans of ever having this, because if Marvel have waited a bit and used a different villain instead, then leave Ultron for another movie, possibly an Ant-Man movie, and have him built properly, it would have been better. Instead, Ultron was created in one movie, defeated, and never heard from again. Just gone. And not only that, the narrative weight in this movie was lacking and audience didn't really vibe with it. I only wish Marvel would have done more with his character instead of rushing it. He would have been a menace. But at least we got to see a bit of Ultron from the What If stories, but
We don't care. Let me tell you something. We don't care.
so we have come to the end of this video. I really didn't want to be making extremely long videos until I have grown properly on YouTube, but here I am. But if you enjoyed this video, please do me a solid favor by liking and subscribing. Trust me, it means a lot. Also, let me know in the comments who is the most wasted characters in the MCU for you, and I might add that in the part 2 if this video does well. Well, that's it for me on this one. Until next time, I'm out.